What does everybody think? I mean, the obvious thing, he obviously got rid of her. But let's get over into it and see what this whole case is about and see how we can figure it out.
We first heard about a missing American woman on April 6th after Bahamian authorities released a statement about a woman who went missing during a nighttime boat ride that past weekend. The next day, we learned the woman was Lynette Hooker, a Michigan mother who was with her husband, Brian. I'm Cristian Benavides, and I've been covering the case from the start. Here's a timeline of her disappearance. After she went missing, Brian told authorities his wife fell from their dinghy and the current swept her away. He's denied any wrongdoing.
According to Bahamian police, Brian Hooker said they departed hometown at 7:30 p.m. Saturday on their 8-foot dinghy en route to Elbow Key. He said she fell over with the keys to the boat and was swept away in strong currents. He says he lost sight of her and paddled to shore, arriving around 4 a.m. Sunday. That is the sailboat that was used by Lynette and Brian. It's docked here in Marsh Harbor. They would use a dinghy to get from the sailboat to land.
On April 7th, we spoke to Carly Aylesworth, Lynette's daughter, who said she had questions about the incident. She shared a voicemail with us from her stepfather, Brian Hooker.
They do have life jackets on there. They just don't wear it when they're on it.
Speaking to CBS News, Carly Aylesworth, Lynette's daughter, says the two had a rocky relationship.
From what I've heard from my grandma, their relationship has been a lot of fighting and drinking lately. So I'm just kind of questioning what actually went on in that dinghy.
According to Aylesworth, her mother and Brian, her stepfather, had split up in recent years and then got back together. Royal Bahamian police say Brian told investigators Lynette fell over from an 8-foot hard-bottom dinghy with the keys to the boat and was carried away by strong rip currents. Brian left Aylesworth this voicemail message, where for the first time, hear about a floating device he allegedly threw to her.
Hello, honey. I just got a call from Booktown Search and Rescue, and I found a flotation device that I threw to Mom when she fell overboard.
A CBS News producer tracked down Brian in the Bahamas, but did not comment about the search for his wife. Aylesworth says her mother is an experienced swimmer and boater and doesn't believe his story adds up.
For one, I don't understand how she got the key. Brian's always driving, so he basically is in charge of the key. So the fact that my mom had it doesn't make any sense.
On April 8th, we tracked down the sailboat. Late that night, Hooker was taken into custody.
Now Bahamian police say he is a suspect in her disappearance, telling Reuters they took the 59-year-old into custody Wednesday night for, quote, questioning based on some probable cause. It's unclear what charges he could be facing.
On April 9th, Hooker was transported from Marsh Harbor to Freeport by Bahamian authorities.
At police headquarters in the Bahamas today, Brian Hooker's lawyer says he sat for hours of questioning about the disappearance of his 55-year-old wife, Lynette Hooker.
He was questioned in relation to causing harm, which resulted in her death, but we have no evidence.
Hooker has not been charged and denies harming Lynette.
On that day, CBS News spoke to a friend who shared messages Brian Hooker had sent him after his wife disappeared. The friend had reached out to Brian after seeing the news that his wife went missing.
Everybody handles panic and loss different, but you still have, there's no desperation there. Like, you don't like Facebook posts while there's a search and rescue going on for your spouse.
Daniel Danforth said he and his wife became friends with Lynette and Brian in 2023.
My wife had made a Facebook post about sailing, and I commented on it, and then he liked my comment. And so I reached out to him. I said, Brian, I said, what's going on? Did I just see y'all on the news that it said that Lynette fell off the boat? And he said that, unfortunately so, that she had fell off the boat in bad weather.
Hooker's account.
Yeah, man, it sounded like he pushed it. Of course, we got to wait for evidence to come out, but come on, there's a lot of things that aren't adding up. Just taking into account what the daughter said, how she's a great swimmer, and of course, the things can happen, but just the fact that he said he never gives her, the stepdad never gives her the keys, and there would be no reason for him to give her the keys. And then the crazy fact that he's liking Facebook posts about sailing, while your wife is missing.
Danforth seems to differ from the statement he gave police. Danforth read some of Hooker's messages exclusively to CBS News.
The wind blew me away from her, and she swam to the sailboat, and we lost sight of each other pretty quickly as it was just about sundown.
CBS News learned Bahamian
it's over with for him.
authorities issued a search warrant for the soulmate.
Laptops and cell phones on board this sailboat owned by Brian and Lynette Hooker, named Soulmate, could contain evidence related to the Michigan woman's disappearance, according to a search warrant reviewed by CBS News.
He was taken to his vessel for a search, and when he went there, he was handcuffed.
Hooker's attorney, Terrell Butler, says the 59-year-old was arrested Wednesday after a 3-hour-long interview with police. She says after being detained, Hooker was handcuffed and taken to his boat for a search, but fell overboard himself.
The weather was so choppy and the vessel was moving. He alleges that as a result of all of that, he fell overboard and he had to be rescued by the officers.
Hooker received medical attention at a hospital overnight. What was his demeanor like? What was he like?
He was very sad, and you could see it appears as if this whole thing was taking a toll on him.
On April 10th, a recording surfaced of Brian detailing what happened in the days after his disappearance.
Blaine and Marnie Stevenson say they have been friends with the couple since 2023. Blaine spoke to Brian after Lynette went missing and said he recorded the call. CBS has verified this recording.
I threw her a flotation cushion that we used to sit on the dinghy, right after she went in.
They released a recording of their call because they think it could help find Lynette.
I want people out there looking for a real live human being. Until told otherwise, Lynette's alive to me, and she needs to be found. I've got to speak for Lynette, and from the boating community, that's what I'm trying to do.
Then on April 12th, we received maps, apparently drawn by Brian, showing what he believes happened that day.
CBS News obtained these maps, apparently sent by Brian to friends, showing what he says is the last day they spent together before she went missing.
It was a cascade of failures, and it's something I'm never going to forgive myself for.
CBS News also obtained messages the Michigan mother sent to a friend back in January 2024, shedding light on what appeared to be trouble at sea. It was too much closeness. We decided to call it quits. We were married 21 years. Our marriage lasted 6 weeks cruising. It was real bad. I can't be out there with him. On April 13th, Brian was released after authorities determined they didn't have enough evidence to charge him with a crime. Hooker has continued to deny any wrongdoing. On April 14th, we were the first outlet to sit down with Brian Hooker, and we asked him if he believed his wife Lynette was still alive.
You want to keep looking for Lynette? I'm going to need somebody with more authority to tell me to stop.
Brian Hooker says he wants to return to the water to search for his wife Lynette.
Do you believe that Lynette's still alive? I do. I believe I've been told that people have lasted in the Bahamas after falling overboard for days and even weeks. There are so many islands. Of course, you think about alternatives to that, but I'm not really capable of just turning away from this.
Police have urged the public to come forward with any information about the case. This comes as a U.S. official confirms to CBS News that the case is being treated as a criminal investigation, with the Coast Guard leading coordinating efforts with the U.S. Attorney's Office.
So tell me what y'all thinking, y'all. Do you think he actually killed his wife? Come on now. The story didn't add up from the beginning, but it could be possible that he's going through so much pain that it's hard for him to remember, or he's remembering stuff differently. But what are your thoughts, y'all? Let's go over to the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information on this case and see if it tells us anything differently. So let's jump over into it. So as we know, Lynette Hooker, a 55-year-old woman from Michigan, has been missing in the Bahamas since April 4th, 2026. She was reportedly disappeared after falling overboard from an 8-foot dinghy while traveling with her husband, Brian Hooker. So after several days of intensive search and rescue efforts, the mission shifted to a recovery operation on April 7th. As of April 15th, Bahamian authorities indicated that they might suspend the search soon, though a U.S. Coast Guard criminal investigation remains active. The husband, so we know Brian Hooker, told police that Lynette fell overboard while holding the boat keys, which were attached to a safety lanyard. This caused the engine to shut off, leaving him unable to reach her as she swept away by strong currents. He reportedly her missing the following morning, approximately 4 a.m. Brian Hooker was detained and questioned by the Royal Bahamas Police Force on probable cause. He was released without charge on April 13, 2026. Lynette's daughter has publicly questioned her stepfather's story, citing her mother's experience as a sailor and strong swimmer. She had also raised allegations of the history of domestic violence in the couple's relationship. The husband reportedly flew back to the United States to visit his terminally ill mother, though his attorney states he intends to return to the Bahamas to continue the search. Ooh. So as of right now, I wonder, can they force him to fly back? But this is a crazy case, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Do you think his story isn't adding up? Do you think he did something terrible, left her to die? Or is this truly an accident to where she fell overboard and he could not save her? We'll have to wait to see if more evidence come out. But the question is, what evidence could come out? Unless they recover her body and it shows some kind of trauma or anything like that. Or trauma caused from outside of when she fell in. But it's going to be hard because you know how what water does to the bodies. So if he did do it, he might get away with it. But let me know your thoughts on this situation and let me know how you feel about it. Do you disagree with anything I said, y'all?